Ready to jump into this?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right. Welcome back to the Alternative Highs podcast. I'm Dustin Gahn. This is the #1 podcast in Southwestern Ontario. It's a fact.
Nice, kick ass, man. I love
I'm
it.
sitting here with Scott. Scott, will you say your last name for me so I don't butcher it?
Tousignant.
Tousignant. Scotty. So, I will be brutally honest. I've been following Scott for 4 years since COVID. We have never got the chance to formally meet other than a 5-minute stint at the Sons of Kent earlier this summer.
Yeah.
And it is so funny because I was explaining to my friends that I was sitting with, they're like, oh, is that one of your buddies? I was like, actually, we've never met. But I've been following him for 4 years. So you follow him, but you don't know each other? I'm like, yeah, man, he brings a lot of value. He's got some really cool advice. They could not wrap their head around the fact that I followed somebody and did not know them. And when we see each other, it was just dap each other up and like we knew each other. It broke the brain. And I just think that might be you and your personality, perhaps me and my personality, on how easy it is to relate to somebody. Because I feel like everything that you're doing in life is something I'm really fascinated with. And it is crazy because in the 4 years that I've watched you, I feel like your body is jacked, which is your concept, but is it lately that you've been kind of going into a more of a holistic?
Yeah.
And what brought you into that? And that is a jump over a bunch of stuff that I've got to rewind and go back to, but I'm fascinated with this way that you're going into.
It's been an evolution for sure, because I was like all hardcore bodybuilding for most of my life there, and it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe like most of the time there. Basically, it's like I'm 49 years young now, so as I'm aging, you start to feel a little more tightness and stiffness. I'm like, man, I really should give yoga another chance here, and I just kept delaying it. And then my kids ended up getting me 10 sessions for my birthday at a studio, and I got hooked immediately. And it's just, I don't know if it's just, they say when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Because I had tried yoga in the past, and it just wasn't for me. But now I was mentally ready for it, spiritually ready for it, and like physically ready for the challenge. And I think it just exposed a lot of weaknesses that I wasn't aware of, imbalances I wasn't aware of, and just challenged me in different ways. It's kind of like teaching an old dog new tricks. It's opened me up.
Like I'm just waiting for the right person, and I'm almost waiting for them to present themselves, like you said, because I have a much. My spinal cord injury puts a little bit of, got to be a little careful, and I want to make sure that I'm working with the right people. But you've totally brought that to my radar, where I really have been looking into it a lot lately, and I've watched a lot of greatness come from people with disabilities working with yogi instructors. Like it is a wild setup.
It's fantastic, and I find they complement each other, because like what I learned in the yoga studio, identifying some of the weaknesses and balances, I can then I can partly correct it in the studio itself through the yoga practice, or go into the gym and go like, all right, my inner thighs are a little weak, or my serratus is a little weak. They're like, what exercises can I do to like strengthen those up and strengthen in a range of motion that I wasn't used to doing previously. So,
and I'll kind of step back a little bit again. You know everything. You described 2 muscles, broke my brain. How did you get to that part where you know, like, is that the inner trainer in you, or what's your background before all this?
So like first got into weightlifting at the age of 13. My parents bought me a York 2001 home gym. Instantly, like as soon as I started lifting that very first workout, just how the body felt, looking at myself in the mirror. I was like, this is the shit. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
So it's like, and into athletics, into sports, and as soon as I started working out, like at the age 13, I was telling my buddy who was working out with in my parents' basement, they're like, I want to own a gym when I'm older. I had no idea how the heck any of that was going to come about. And I started dating a girl in high school. Her brother was in human kinetics, and he's talking about biomechanics and physiology and everything. So I'm like, that's my jam. Like, but I didn't know there was like a university program on that. So that led me down the path of getting into human kinetics. I'm right out of human kinetics, getting into personal training, and then the evolution from there.
Now, you started your YouTube channel, Stay Get Jacked, 8 years ago?
Lose Fat, Get Jacked. It's kind of been an evolution, really. I've had multiple YouTube channels along the way.
Okay.
I started, The Fit Bastard was my first one. Fat Loss Quickie was my second one. It all kind of, as I've evolved, you kind of lose. You're like, hey, that brand doesn't suit me best. But like Lose Fat, Get Jacked, I think
It's great.
Yeah.
And you speak on so much, whether it be nutrition. Did you ever do bodybuilding?
Yeah, I've competed in bodybuilding.
Competed where? So I had a person that I interviewed earlier this month, and they were bodybuilding, and the fascination with bodybuilding is wild because I don't think I've never been as disciplined as I am now, and I'm still not bodybuild disciplined. Where do you get that from? Like, how do you stay? Because I watch some of you're eating burgers, you're eating, you still live life, and you look like you enjoy it too. So there's, how do you find that balance of, I know it's a different when you're in training for like, what is it, 6 weeks, 8 weeks where you're cutting or is it the whole time?
It depends on where you're at and like how much fat you need to lose to get contest lean. It's not, it was a nice an experience. I gained some value from that experience. It's pretty cool because at the time I like really viewed the body as a work of art. Especially like I love Arnold Schwarzenegger pumping iron, and we were just talking about the body as a sculpture. If you want to like build muscle, you just slap it on here and slap it on there. Like really viewing bodybuilding as an art form. And so it was fun to see myself on stage and even do like photo shoots afterwards and everything. And like really for the first time in my life, go, wow, like that's me. Like you don't really see yourself that way until, but like getting that lean, stage lean it's not for everyone, and I really wouldn't recommend it. I almost discourage most people, like unless you really have your heart set on this bucket list thing, because it's not healthy, to be honest, like to be that lean. And I find it can really mess with a lot of guys' heads because they'll get that lean and they think like, okay, that's what a six pack is supposed to look like. If they get just a little bit more fat than that, they're like, okay, I look like crap or whatever. So it can really screw with your head. I'm lucky it didn't have that kind of impact on me. But even like throughout that, the last week leading up to the show, I was still having chips and whatever. It's just learning to, and it's not like I have a fast metabolism. I have a normal metabolism. And it's just learning to be responsible. It was something that has taken me a lot of time and practice. Like a lot of people expect things they go through their first diet and they're like hoping that it's going to be perfect. And like this has been years and years of me listening to my body and just learning that I don't enjoy feeling like overfull or overstuffed anymore. So it's whereas like before I'd be like, you put anything in front of me, I'm just gonna devour. Just no control whatsoever.
Do you find like a lot of, because you coach quite a bit of people, do you find that everybody thinks there's this like overnight we can lose that fat and get jacked, like you got 90 days, God, what can you do? How do you wrap people's heads around, like, I'm 4 years into my journey and I can see the difference, I can see this, I'm happy with all things, but I'm like, still never got to the goal that I really wanted to. I just don't think my body's built to slim down that way. And I'm trying to wrap my head around that took me a really long time. But now I'm like, I'm at the point where you were just talking about the biometrics. Like everybody's talking this lingo to me now. I don't understand it. I don't even know what that means.
Right.
So
you don't need to know what a lot of that means. It's just a lot of it does come down to just focusing on the process and executing your daily task, like listening to your body, doing what's going to serve you best in each moment, taking it day by day, week by week, and like we are all different. Some people just, it might be your goal to get a six-pack, but that might be where you just feel awful at a six-pack. It just doesn't suit your build and your body the best, whereas others need to be that lean to feel their best. So it really, like throughout the entire process, is just having that heightened sense of awareness of how you're feeling through it, and just like rather than aiming for a certain goal weight that you want to achieve, it's like let's just take it week by week, and you'll know when you get there, kind of thing. And I find a lot of people think, I only got like 20 pounds to lose, and oftentimes it's like 40 pounds to lose, and oftentimes it's like they need to get a lot leaner than they realize they need to get in order to see.
In your opinion, what's the best way for somebody that's just starting out? They want to lose 30, 40 pounds, and they don't have the gym feels yet, or they don't feel comfortable. How does somebody get into their journey of fitness?
Just working with everything I do, it's always taking where you're at, just building upon your own natural tendencies and trying to improve upon your natural tendencies. So with your nutrition, it's just taking, a lot of people want, well, give me a meal plan. I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to give you a meal plan. Let's like take a look at what you eat, and I'll give you some guidance on, well, maybe reduce the portion size here. And like you can incorporate all of your favorite foods and everything you're eating. If there is some stuff you would like to eliminate because it doesn't make you feel good, we can work on reducing it and getting to that point of eliminating it from your diet if that's what you want. But it's always just making small improvements at a time, not trying to do it all at once. And if you don't want to go to a gym, it's understandable. Sometimes it's great to get out of your comfort zone as well, because you never know. I hear that a lot. Well, once I get in shape, then I'll go to the gym. Well, it's amazing if you can find a good support system when you go to, like, the camaraderie there can do more for you than just being at home. And sometimes just that act of getting there can get things. It's so easy. You're at home. It's easy to, like, phone rings or distracted with laundry or whatever. So, but again, if you still want to roll with that, then you can roll with body weight stuff. There's so many different body weight exercises, getting up for walks. Just start with the basics, and again, paying attention to how your body feels from that as well, and doing things that are going to suit you best, because there is no like single best workout plan out there, or single best meal plan out there. It's working with your body where you're at right now. And then, like, I would have never guessed I'd be doing yoga right now and handstands and all this kind of stuff. It just, once you get rolling, you just try different things, get outside your comfort zone, and keep what you like. And
speaking of your headstands,
that
was pretty wild how it seems like it's been a very quick, like, from the time you started. I just watched the videos, and it seems like from the time of starting to post about yoga to where you're at now is pretty freakishly quick.
It's fun. I think it helps having the bodybuilding background to begin with. Like, so the strength component helps with some things. It's interesting because it can also hinder something, because you want to like muscle things up, whereas sometimes like I'll keep my elbows bent to hold myself up, or I'm keeping the tension on there because I can feel and control my body, but I'm working harder than I need to. If I lock my elbows out and get myself in a perfect stack, it's like, oh, wow, I don't have to really work to hold this. But yeah, having that strength background helps, having an athletic background helps, but it was very, very humbling. Like in the beginning, I'm like, come on, like, how come I can't do this? Like, I should be able to do this stuff. And it's just a matter of practice. Like, daily practice is really what pays off.
With everything that you got going on with fitness, the number one thing would be consistency, followed up with, what would you say the second thing?
Awareness. I think awareness, consistency and awareness, because it's always, you can be consistent with something and doing something that's not serving you best, but you have that heightened sense of awareness that, all right, I like the way my body feels with doing this thing, let's keep rolling with it. I'm having fun with this thing, let's keep rolling with it, rather than I really need to stick with this because this is what someone else did and it worked for them. I'm not vibing with it, but this is what works, I gotta do it. So
the awareness can tie in to what I was gonna ask, because I myself have put way too much into the nutrition side. It's important, but I've like starved myself, and I've been very like, oh, you suck for eating that in front of me. That ain't your fault, man. You're just enjoying your life. So, do you think people put way too much onto that nutrition? Like, I understand, don't put this, don't put that, but is there too much put into the, or is that even, am I going backwards on that?
Well, I think nutrition plays a huge role in all of it, but I think people get into the mindset that they need to, well, I can never have this again, or they're totally eliminating certain foods or food groups or macronutrients. And if that is, again, coming down to that sense of awareness that, right, that really isn't serving me well, it's causing some discomfort in there. Exactly. Okay, that's your sign. But I think there's, again, if you're feeling guilty about what you're eating and you're beating yourself up if you overdo it, I mean, we're all human, it happens. You're either winning or you're learning is the way I look at it all. So if I have a meal and I ate to the point of satisfaction, I took my time chewing the food, I savored every bite, had a great time with the company I'm with, that's a win. If I ate a little more than I should have, that I needed to, then I look back on it, okay, why did I eat a little bit more? What could I have done a little bit differently? So then I walk away from that still feeling victorious no matter what, because all right, now the next time I'm in this situation, I can handle it a little bit better. But if you're beating yourself up and you're feeling guilty, that's usually what leads to more like a downward spiral. Well, I blew it, way to go, might as well just keep shoveling it down and have a bigger pity party, and then you're feeling even worse after.
So what I'm gathering from you is it's a large mindset. It's all mindset. How you approach everything is a mindset, which is super cool. A lot of people don't understand a mindset and how to get from point A to point B, and there's no problem there, but there's people like you that help to teach that mindset. And just listening to you, I was like, oh man, that's a really interesting way. But every time that you go back to it, it's just staying positive. Your positivity just shines right through. Like, man, you can see it in all your vids. You're always smiling. You're happy. It is a very interesting way to get around that beat. I'm telling you, I've made myself sick over overeating, just things that shouldn't bother me. 41 years old. Enjoy yourself, but like, don't overindulge. I had a little pity party for myself the other day with a few donuts. I didn't like myself very much afterwards. I was disappointed, but it was like, you sit there, you catch yourself. And I was like, it didn't make me happy. And I was all, had I looked at it a little differently, questioned why, I could have probably stopped myself in the before committing the crime. But mindset is incredible on so many levels of wherever you take it, whether it be your fitness, whether it be your job, whether it be, is that one of the starting foundations for you in your
It's huge. The mindset has always been played a big part in how I coach, how I have evolved myself. Like even right in human kinetics, we take sports psychology classes, sport philosophy classes. Even a lot of our electives are psychology based, so we're learning a lot about the mind and our behaviors and all that kind of stuff. So that really got the ball rolling with in regards to focusing on mindset and studying athletes and what they do to prepare for big events and big races, and then just kind of transferring it over into my clientele and to myself here. But then it's just been an evolution of like, I find like most of what I read and learn right now has very little to do with fitness, because like fitness, it really hasn't changed all that much. Nutrition really hasn't changed all that much, but like the mindset stuff, like just helping people learn how to think different, react and respond different to what's going on around them, is like that's the key. That's really what I find goes on a lot with my coaching. It's like more conversations in regards to mindset than it really is
Very
about nutrition and training. Yeah.
With how do you find mental health and fitness, that in between? Because for myself, I really need to get out and cycle. For me to avoid a sad rainy day with the cloud, I've got to go cycle, get to the gym. Do people, you can explain that it helps, but how do you actually explain it to people? How do you do that? Because I've tried with, I don't have the proper words for it, but I've tried to explain it, and it never hits, it doesn't track.
Yeah, it's different. It's, I mean, a lot of people will look at, let's say, like the gym as my therapy, and you understand what they're saying. It's never going to replace, it's not like talking to a therapist when you really need to talk to someone there, but it's very therapeutic to do something positive for your body and just get your body moving, the blood flowing, get the feel-good endorphins going. Like your body really is meant to move, and when you do start moving, you do start getting chemical reactions that do make you feel better. But I think there's a lot more to it. There's a lot that we don't understand, because for some people, some activities just aren't enjoyable, and they're forcing themselves to do something because, again, they hear that it worked for other people. So it really helps kind of experiment with different things and find different activities. Like for you, cycling, like getting out there you're out in nature. For me, getting out in nature is a huge thing. It's like so many different benefits. Not only am I moving my body, but it hits me. Like I love the connection with all the wildlife and everything around me, and it's very grounding in the moment. So it hits me on different levels there compared to walking into a gym, picking up some dumbbells. Again, to me, it's almost nostalgic. Like it's like I'm still a kid, 13-year-old pumping the dumbbells at home, but then you're surrounded by other people who are putting forth the effort. You kind of feed off their energy. And again, it comes down to mindset, because that's just how I walk into the gym. Like I'm ready to connect with people and fist bump and let's have some fun here together, lift each other up. Or others are like, headphones on, don't freaking talk to me.
I watched an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger once, and they were talking about his home gym to him going to the gym, and he said, I have whatever amount of money it was gym, I don't use it. I would rather be feeding off of everybody's energy in the gym, whether I work out for 15 minutes or an hour. I would rather be in the gym just for the camaraderie. So I mean, you and Arnold have some things in common here, because he was quite young when he started pumping too. It is a fun thing. I was recently speaking, I met a dude when I was 13 years old who is the gym rat. There was only one spot where I grew up in Ridgetown. There's 3,300 people, and this guy was in the dark part of the gym. I could see the big chain over with a 50, or the 45 bench press, and he's sitting there doing dips. And me and this guy are still homies to this day. I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, you changed my life. But I got out of it, and I told you earlier, I got 100 pounds more 4 years ago due to an accident. But it's fun when you can see yourself in a different view, you know, from heavier to, it's just visually stimulating.
For sure.
And it has so many health benefits, because now, you know, even though I have this spinal cord injury, I was able to get more agile. Hey, I can do this. Oh, wow. Just because I lost 10, 15, in my case, 100 pounds off, I can, it's, the mobility is wildly different.
For sure.
And then as I want to take a page out of your books. I really want to start doing yoga. Like I'm just finding the right person, but it looks like, I loved your new videos. Like I love watching that stuff. Like I really want to get to a part of my life where I'm that balanced.
Yeah.
Because it looks like a lot of fun.
It's so much fun, and even, even though I did a lot of running when I was younger, whether it was track and field or cross country, I loved running at that point, and then got away from it, and not one of my favorite things to do either, but I've gotten back into jogging. And even that has, again, the feel-good endorphins, and again, maybe some nostalgia as well. I feel like I'm young again, but taking my time, like recognizing that it's been a long time and I've had to ease myself into it. So striking that balance with the weight training, with the cardio, with the yoga, doing like self-massage at home with lacrosse ball and some like scraper and massage guns and all that kind of stuff. Like just doing everything I can to take care of my body, because I just want to feel my best. And it's meant that I've had to reduce the number of days that I'm weight training, which actually feels better overall to me. I was realizing I was probably overkill, like spending too much time in the gym in the past. Yeah. So yeah, striking that balance between it all, I'm like, I feel I've never felt better in my life than I do right now at 49. So it's like, should I have been doing this earlier? It's so tough to say. Like I hate hindsight, because like it's got everything I did got me to where I'm at right now.
I think you did everything the right way.
Yeah.
Just judging by the happiness that you're always being in. So it is really neat. I need to change the mindset. I need to get to a place where I'm happy with everything and work on it. It's fun to watch people because you can feed off of them. Mm-hmm. So this has been really cool. It
is good fun.
I really appreciate you coming today, bud.
Dude, my freaking pleasure, man.
This is great.
It's been fun following along your journey. That's the beauty of it all, is you see where we all start in different places, and we all take a different path to get to where we want to get, and we're all just learning and growing together through
that's
this process.
Thing is, most of us want the same destination. It's just how rocky of a road are you willing to go down, or how smooth of a pathway do you want to go?
Yeah.
And that's a lot of mindset, a lot of differences on people, I guess, and how they get to that destination.
For sure.
Dude, thanks for coming.
Good fun. My pleasure, man.
Appreciate it.